Hello, Pisces. Welcome to your June 2018 overview reading. This is good for you if you are a sun, moon, or rising Pisces. So let's go ahead and get started. I did lay out this spread ahead of time just to save some time. It takes me a while to screw around with it and get it looking nice and orderly, so I just laid it out ahead of time. And also a quick shout out to everybody who works with me. Thank you so much. I love working with all of you, and it is such a privilege, and I am truly grateful for all of you who work with me. Even single question readings and tarot spreads and one-on-one sessions. You guys are absolutely what make this channel possible, so I absolutely appreciate you. Okay, so as I go through this also, I get a lot of questions about which decks I'm using, and I do list them in the description box. Okay, so if you have any questions, they're all listed there. But let's go ahead and start with an Affirmators card. Friendliness. Whenever I smile, I make someone's day better. What a cool way to buy happiness for free. Today, I will remember what an awesome power I hold, and I'll take joy in improving lives simply by giving away grins like crazy. Note, in a pinch, money will also work. Okay, so this is about sharing your appreciation, your happiness, your joy. It's like, smiling is contagious, and the more you can embody that, the better you're going to feel. So it grows and grows and grows the more you focus on it. Okay, so now I'm going to pick a truth bomb. Let's see what's coming through for Pisces in the month of June. Don't take any shit. Yes, this is one of the cards that Pisces, more so than other signs, of course it depends on other things in your chart, but if there's part of you that is overly tolerant, that is something that is worth nipping this month as best as you can. It is a practice, as are most things, but it's kind of like set boundaries, put your foot down where you see something wrong or that is not right to you, and the payoff will come from that. Okay, and then I'm going to pull an animal card for you. Let's see. Bat. You're going to have to rely on a different part of yourself this month. The first thing that came up for this was echolocation. So, bats are completely blind, but they use echolocation to navigate their way. And so that's translating as you may not be used to the way you have to do things to get the best results or to get what you need. So if you're trying to get your needs met, you're probably going to have to take a different approach that you're not used to. And this is really exciting, but it's also really scary. So communication, boundaries, doing things differently, however that is for you, is going to have massive payoff in June. So the way that this reading works, I'll go through all of the tiers, but this one down here at the bottom, this is based off Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So I condensed the bottom two layers. So this is about your primal needs, sleep, food, water, and then as well as shelter, resources, money, that type of stuff. All right, 8 of Pentacles, getting to work, effort. The effort that you input will equal the output. That is what June is all about. So make sure you're looking at this from an energetic perspective of what am I giving, and then you're gonna see that start to come up in what you receive. And then we have the Hanged Man. Exploring your habits and routine is going to be really, really helpful for you this month, because it's going to reveal what needs to change and what needs to stay the same. If there's any things that you need to work out or that you need to adjust, June is a good time to evaluate that, and the Hanged Man is kind of going to show you what's working and what's not. Okay, then we also have the Two of Wands. Let me clarify this. I feel like there's something missing in this card. Let's see. The World. The part about this card that's interesting is getting support from others and allowing that into your life. So if that is something that you struggle with, or if you're one of those people who's like, I'm going to just do it all myself, if you tend to be on more of the overachiever, or I don't want to inconvenience anybody, that is one of the things that could be creating a block in what you're cultivating in terms of money and opportunities. So allow. If you lead with that, it's going to come in faster, whatever you need. So just remember that the more you say yes to things that make your life easier and brighter, that's going to be more welcome in your life. Okay, and then the last card I have here is the Ace of Pentacles. So this is really good for money. Both this and the Eight of Pentacles in particular are really showing that there's a great deal of potential this month. Remember, this I'm reading potential. But if you do not want to tap into it, you don't have to. If you don't know where to look, that's okay too. It's about making sure that you are doing what you can, that you're taking as much action as you can, because that is going to have the biggest payoff in June. Okay, so that's what the Ace of Pentacles is saying, is it's all out here for you to reach out and grab. You just want to make sure you're putting adequate effort into it. Okay, now this tier that I'm about to go over is romantic relationships, love relationships, family, and friends. So if there's one that you are more interested in, go ahead and set your intention for that, and I'm sure the messages will resonate the way they're meant to for you. But I'm going to go ahead and go over this. So the first thing we have coming up is the Devil. Don't freak out. This is, I'm going to clarify it, because there's a few things this could be, but I just want to get a little more context. The Emperor. So when you think about masculinity, when you think about the way that you have been pursuing connections and dealing with family and family relationships and friendships, is there part of you that has been operating from a point of not outright deception, but just not being your full self, not asking for what you need, not being 100% authentic? Again, if you're operating from that state of, I don't want to inconvenience anybody, I don't want to overwhelm anybody, I don't want to ask for too much, that is you not being your authentic self. That's what the Devil is I'm going to wear a mask. I'm not going to ask for what I need. I'm going to play around and not get the things that I want. And so the Emperor coming up is about pursuit. It's about being in the role of the pursuer in terms of your own needs in family relationships, friendships, and romantic relationships. So however that is showing up for you, this is going to be the month when you really get to challenge yourself and ask for what you want and ask for what you need. And then we also have the Ace of Wands. Okay, so there's so much brightness here with the Ace of Wands. You know, this is also like a If you're dating or in a relationship, it is one of the more sexual cards in tarot. So it is definitely a good sign for intimacy and connection. But then also having, I like seeing this with the devil, because it's saying even if you have challenges coming up in terms of perspective, belief system, mindset around permission to ask and permission to receive, you have adequate energy to give it. It's like then you get to piggyback off of that belief system and go, wait a second, I'm going to make this happen anyway. I'm going to push myself and try something new. The aces are really good. They're good for that initiation and trying. So this looks really, really good. And then lastly, we have the Seven of Wands. Yeah, overcoming challenges. I like this. I like this a lot for you. I see this as translating as like the victory card, kind of like the Six of Wands. But this is more of like rah, 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 I did it. Because it's like you finally are coming out of the woods with whatever you've been working through relationally. And so it really is like such an awesome progression, because you can see here like, met with an old belief system, you know, having to question yourself. Should I ask? You know, do I tell them how I feel? Do I tell my sister that what she did was completely uncalled for? Do I set a boundary with this friend who's been asking too much of me? You know, you're going to be met with those opportunities. And if you take action, it's like you really get over a huge hump. Anything that's been in your way, it's like you finally get a breath of fresh air. So make sure that you take those opportunities when you get them. Now, this area is more of, for these readings, I've been calling it the ego tier, which is all about how you're seen in the world, how you're being received, and then also like your permission and feeling of being like a unique individual on the planet. Permission to be here. You have the Five of Cups. This is showing up as fear. A lot of this has to do with the old ways of doing things. Of course, it's going to activate that part of yourself, especially if you're challenging old wounds right now. I'm going to clarify the Five of Cups. Death. This is awesome because it's showing rebirth. It's showing new growth. It's saying that is being purged from your system, and you're being given space so that you can cultivate more and do things differently. Especially because it's sitting right on top of the devil. It's kind of like, you know, yeah, you have these limiting beliefs come up relationally, and then it can activate disappointment, it can activate fear, it can activate hopelessness, it can do all of that, but you're shifting a lot of it. So you're doing a lot of work in June, and that's okay. And then we also have the Tower, boom, revelation. This is, I like this. I like this because it's being completely broken down, and this is necessary for you, because if you were doing people pleasing, if you were being overly tolerant, then you are going through a major overhaul. And as that happens, you start to see you're completely dismantling what doesn't work. If it doesn't work, it's being broken down, it's being deconstructed, and you're rebuilding. So don't worry about the Tower. This is really, really necessary, because you can't have this without it shifting a large part of your consciousness and ego. So you got to trust this, even though it's going to be scary to challenge the old ways of doing things. And then finally, we have your higher self, your self-actualization. Six of Wands. I knew this was going to come up when I saw this because I'm like, it looks like the Victory card, or it's reading the same way. So you are in such a good spot. And I know that with the Tower, this right here, like the consciousness being broken down, the ego being broken down might seem really scary, but you're ascending. Like that is ultimately what's happening. You're leveling up, you're doing things differently, you're getting an upgrade. And so as you upgrade yourself and as you do things differently, you're being met with things that are going to match you in that capacity. They're now going to, it's like friends, partners, family members, opportunities, they're all going to start to reflect your new vibration. And I really don't like that word, but that's really what's going to happen. Okay. So that's it for the core reading, and now I'm going to go into the timeline. So if you're new to my channel, I start over here with the first quarter, second, third, and fourth quarter. So that is where you end June, in that upper left corner. Okay, so first you have the Seven of Vials, options, looking at all the different choices, looking at, I could do this, I could do that, I could go this way, I could go that way, I could take this approach, I could do everything the same way I was doing it before. Those are all still options, but it's just about exploring all the different avenues that you could take. And then in the second quarter, you have the Magician. What do you want to manifest? That is the question that the Magician is asking you. It is telling you to take a look at your vision board. What have you brought to life? And if you haven't brought anything to life, then it means you need to revise it. It might just be that a lot of this stuff on your vision board is stuff that you don't actually want, or that you need to take steps to work towards in other ways, or work on embodiment. So it's gonna leave clues as to what's going on with you when you take a look at your vision board. By vision board, that I'm using that as a catch-all for any manifestations that you have in the works. Okay? This is also, if you're not big on manifestation, if that word does not apply to you at all, this is just about what are you asking for? And if you're not asking for anything, then start. Okay, quarter 3, we have the Seven of Candles. This is the same as this card right here. So I think that the biggest turning point is going to be in the third week or third quarter of June. It's where you're going to start to see the most benefit. If you've been taking action that is in alignment with you improving, growing, changing, and doing things differently, you will see payoff, and it looks like it starts during the third quarter. So if you're trusting this and if you are applying yourself, it's going to be a huge upgrade. You're going to get a lot more than you're anticipating. Just make sure you're challenging yourself so that you can grow and get all of the things that you deserve. And wrapping up the month of June, we have the Six of Vials. So the Six of Cups, this is the card of soulmates, connections with the people and situations that are in your highest good. It's also indicating there's also an element of reflection in this card, where it's about looking back on how far you've come and kind of giving yourself some kudos for all the work that you've been doing. That's also going to be really great for you this month. But it's a really great sign for, or a great card to have show up at the end of June, because it's saying, yes, there is payoff. Yes, you're seeing all these things come together. And I think that relationships are one of the areas that you see the most shift. The most change this month. Okay, and we're going to do a 3-card pick. So, as usual, we're going to, you can pick a card before I flip them over. You can pick a card after. You can ask a question. Whatever feels right for you, you are welcome to take that approach. Okay, so card number 1. You have the Star. This is like the Destiny card, but it's also, when I look at this card, I think of divine support. So I think of your needs being met, everything coming together the way it's supposed to, things falling into place. The Star also reminds me of what is unseen that is working for you, but you just can't see yet. That's a big piece of the Star. Okay, so a lot going on behind the scenes. Okay, card number 2, we have the 6 of Pentacles. Reciprocation, give and take. Oh, I also should mention, I get so much heat for using this deck, but it's from Twin Peaks. So if you're not familiar with Twin Peaks, then don't read too much into the imagery because it's all from the show. But this is going to be you focusing on what, again, permission to receive. What are you giving? What are you taking? Are you over giving? Are you bleeding yourself dry? Like, what is going on? And are you asking for enough? That's really what is being called into question. And then card number 3, we have the Ace of Wands. New inspiration and action this month. I think it's going to be a lot more, it's going to feel more motivated. It's going to feel more, what's the word I'm looking for? There's more opportunity for you to move things forward than you might be realizing. And so if you give yourself permission to lean on that, you're going to see that you can actually get pretty far. There's something here about summertime in particular where it's like, if you get started in June, you could finish a project, you could have a completely different opportunity show up. So make sure you take advantage of that, okay? So that is all that I have for you today. Don't forget to check out the description box. All the links to work with me are in there. If you are interested in following me on Facebook, or if you have questions about any of the decks that I've used during today's reading, check it out. They're all in the description box. And until next time, have a wonderful June, everybody. I will talk to you later.